Most women over 40 have been brainwashed into believing their metabolism is broken. That's exactly why they will never lose weight. And if you're one of those women who just wants to rely on the same old excuses about hormones, age, or genetics, this video isn't for you, so you can just keep scrolling. Because I'm about to expose the 5 biggest metabolism myths that are keeping you stuck, plus show you what actually works to lose weight after 40. But here's what I discovered after losing 50 pounds while every other woman my age was blaming their weight gain on menopause. Your metabolism isn't broken. You're just too comfortable making excuses to do what actually works. And a lot of health gurus reinforce these excuses, mostly because they've got some miracle program or pill to sell you. Common excuses if you've ever blamed your age for weight gain. And yes, you will see my excuses comment right at the top. So really be honest here, because if you can't show up in the comments section with the truth now, how will you ever show up for yourself to actually lose the weight? This is the first step you could take to quit making excuses and instead start making progress. So if you're a woman over 40 who's tired of feeling invisible, uncomfortable in your own skin, and ready to finally get the body you want, keep watching. Because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why everything you've been told about losing weight after 40 is wrong. Most women over 40 are starving themselves on 1,200 calories while wondering why they still look exactly the same as they did a year ago, and it's embarrassing. I used to be one of those women. I thought the key to losing weight was eating as little as possible. So I'd survive on tiny salads, skip meals, and wonder why I felt like garbage all of the time. But once I began eating more protein than most men, while other women were still nibbling on garden clippings, that's when everything changed. Here's what your personal trainer won't tell you, mostly because he's afraid of getting fired. If you're not eating at least 1 gram of protein per pound of your goal body weight, you're wasting your time. Because protein is what keeps your metabolism running hot. It's what preserves your muscle while you lose fat. And it's what keeps you from turning into a smaller, softer version of yourself. These days, I eat 150 plus grams of protein daily, which is more than most men I know. And I'm leaner now at 45 than I struggle to be at 25. But there's something else that led to a ridiculous amount of struggling with my weight all throughout my 20s and 30s. And it could be the very thing that's contributing to your struggle as well. I used to fall for the same lie that every man in the comments section has to lick the Cheeto dust off his hands before typing. Lifting heavy weights will make you look like a man. So I spent years doing endless cardio, thinking that was the secret to getting lean. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. And if you're still doing fast pump classes, thinking that's the key to changing your body composition, I promise it's not. Also, I'm not sure that any fitness classes are actually called Fast Pump, but if they are, they probably shouldn't be, because that name sounds better suited for OnlyFans. Here's the truth that will trigger every cardio bunny. Muscle is what gives you shape. Muscle is what makes you look tight and toned. And muscle is what keeps your metabolism high, so you don't have to eat less than a toddler to keep the weight off. When I finally started lifting heavy weights, and I mean actually heavy, not those cute little pink dumbbells, that's when my body completely transformed. Now I lift 2 to 3 times per week, focusing on getting stronger instead of just burning calories. And the results speak for themselves, because do I look anything like a man? Now, if you're licking your Cheeto fingers before commenting yes, you, sir, can just keep scrolling. But even though swapping out hours of intense cardio each day for a few hours of lifting each week completely changed my life, I would have never made that kind of progress if I kept believing this next fat loss myth. Because this is the biggest lie women tell themselves to justify giving up. Yes, your metabolism does slow down as you age, but it's not nearly as dramatic as you think. And studies even show that it actually doesn't even happen until after 60. The real reason most women gain weight after 40, they have more excuses racked up than daily steps. They blame hormones instead of taking responsibility for their habits. And they say they're too busy while spending 3 hours a day scrolling social media. Here's what successful women over 40 do differently. They prioritize their health like their life depends on it. Because it does. I track my steps, I lift weights, I eat enough protein, and I don't make excuses when life gets busy. And if I can lose 50 pounds after 40 following the exact habits I talk about, what's your excuse? Because I too thought I was just dealing with the hand that I was dealt. I too thought that I was too exhausted to make any real changes stick. And I too thought that I was too weak and too old to ever make strength training work for me. But the truth is, all those excuses did was keep me stuck. And I didn't get unstuck until I stopped making them. I also didn't get unstuck until I finally stopped believing this next fat loss myth. And after more than 5 years following all of the keto gurus, this one was hard to believe. Most women are poisoning themselves with processed diet-specific garbage and calling it balance, then wondering why they feel like absolute garbage. But here's where it gets interesting. I still eat foods I love. I have pizza, I eat chocolate, and I eat out 2 to 3 times a week. The difference between staying at a healthy weight and regaining every pound I lost, I plan for it. Before I indulge in any treats, I make sure I'm still hitting my protein target and my choices keep me under my calorie budget. And I don't use it as an excuse to throw away an entire week of progress because it's been a week or two since I've had a good binge. Let me know in the comments if you prioritize mostly real foods with occasional indulgences, or if you're still a stickler for eating foods that are approved by some strict diet rules. Even though debunking this myth will trigger every diet guru on YouTube, most of the foods marketed as healthy are keeping you fat and tired. So instead of eating strictly off their diet-approved list, stick to real food most of the time and enjoy whatever you enjoy 10 or 20% of the time to help you stay on track. Which it will be way harder to make that 20% rule work if you refuse to pay attention to this last fat loss myth. Because while you're scrolling TikTok for miracle diets every night until midnight, successful women are prioritizing sleep. And that's why they look at least 10 years younger and struggle way less with their weight. If you're chronically stressed and wondering why you can't lose belly fat, you're missing the most important piece of the puzzle, and most doctors won't even tell you this, mostly because this isn't some miracle pill your doctor can just prescribe. But I promise, fixing this can even make those miracle pills obsolete. If you want to fix your weight, you have to fix your sleep, because chronic stress and poor sleep will sabotage every diet you try. When you're stressed and sleep deprived, your body holds on to fat, especially around your midsection. I learned this the hard way after years of trying to out-diet and out-exercise a stressful lifestyle. Now I prioritize 8 hours of sleep by getting to bed by 10 every night, and I manage my stress through daily walks, stretching, and red light therapy, and I've never been leaner. So if you want a fat loss routine that actually works after 40, here's the simple system that helped me lose 50 pounds and finally keep it off. I eat 150 plus grams of protein daily, lift heavy weights 2 to 3 times per week, walk 8 to 10,000 steps a day, get 7 to 8 hours of sleep, and I manage stress through daily habits. And that's it. Anyone else telling you that you need to do more is flat out lying to you. Because weight loss isn't complicated, but it does take commitment. And that's exactly what the diet industry doesn't want you to know. That weight loss after 40 is actually simple. That doesn't mean it's easy, but it is very simple. You don't need special supplements. You don't need to cut out entire food groups. And you definitely don't need to starve yourself. You just need to do the basics consistently. Look, I know this isn't what you want to hear. You probably clicked on this video hoping I'd give you some magic solution that doesn't require any effort. But here's the reality. There is no magic pill. There's no secret supplement. And there's no special diet that will do the work for you. The women who succeed after 40 are the ones who stop making excuses and start doing the work. Let me know in the comments if you're finally ready to do what actually works by doing the actual work. Because 90% of women watching this will say, you know, she's got a point, but then scroll to the next video while doing nothing with what they've learned. If you want to see exactly how I put all of this together into a simple daily routine, watch this video next where I break down a full day of eating and training that keeps me lean year-round. And if you're ready to stop making excuses and start getting results, I'll see you in the next video.